What up, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. On this channel, we love to talk about crowdfunding. And specifically, I'd like to get into actually the nuts and bolts of how to do this. How do you get funding from the crowd? And that could be on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or many other crowdfunding websites. So in today's video, I want to go over some music crowdfunding tips as it relates to Kickstarter, which is one of the major crowdfunding platforms out there. We're going to dial into some of the things that you need to do specifically if you want to raise funds as a musician or as a band. A lot of different ways in which you can do that, whether that's for an album or a series of shows in which you're doing. Really, how to unlock the power of the crowd in order to be able to raise funds for your passion and possibly even potentially do this full time. So let's get into this today, and it's coming up right after this. All right, man, so how do you actually do this? How do you raise funds from the crowd, specifically on Kickstarter, and some of the advice and tips that I wanna go through in today's YouTube video. So my name is Salvador Briggman. I've been in this industry since 2012. I've been here a long time when it comes to talking about Kickstarter, talking about crowdfunding, and really understanding what goes into these raises, and almost boiling it down to a science. And kind of what I wanna deliver today is just some high-level advice and tips that I think that you should be aware of, particularly if this is one of your first campaigns. If you're trying to use crowdfunding and really unlock the power of the crowd in order to raise money for your passion, so you can go out there, you can produce albums, or you can have your band go on the road. Whatever it is you're trying to do as a musician, this can dramatically accelerate your career and also help you build a tribe of people that love you, tribe of people that are your fans, and also obviously get the funding to go out there and actually produce a lot of the things that you say you want to have happen. So my first tip is actually sparked by a collaboration. So my first tip is that you need to think about what you're offering people. Why are they showing up? And once they do show up, why are they actually going to back your crowdfunding campaign? What is going to be that thing that causes them to pull the trigger and really say yes, that they want to actually support you? Yes, they want to become a backer of your campaign. And that comes down to your perks and your rewards, and really structuring those and thinking a little bit about why would someone get excited about those. So the reason why that this kind of first was my first point is that I think this is a really good point in the guide, which I collaborated with when it comes to Ian Anderson and Levy James, who are two incredibly talented musicians, as well as marketers and as well as crowdfunders. We have a ton of incredible experience, and we collaborated on this guide called Artist Guide to Crowdfunding Domination. I will include a link down below for their site launch and release, but this really came to mind because I think that rewards are the thing that really you don't think about until you actually are starting to actually plan out the campaign page. And then you realize, like, oh my gosh, I gotta actually come up with some interesting perks and rewards to get people incentive, or to actually get them wanting to be part of this. So the best thing that you can do is probably just to do a tiny bit of research, looking at other Kickstarter campaigns and see the kinds of rewards which musicians offer. You can also listen to my podcast, Crowdfunding Demystified, on iTunes and also on Spotify. I think you can probably also search my name there. I also put out some content on Instagram and those different things. So you can search my name on Spotify, iTunes, and that will come up with my podcast, or crowdcrux.com/iTunes will take you there. You can listen to what other people are offering as rewards when it comes to crowdfunding. But I would say when it comes to being a musician, there are many different ways in which you might want to be raising money. For example, produce your new EP or album. You can be obviously offering something for physical in that way. It can also be digital rewards. You can also offer an experience. What if you're going on tour, right? What if you're having an experience where people can actually go to this and you're almost doing ticket sales? Or what about posters and swag and different ways, different memorabilia that your fans can get access to? So there are many different ways in which to offer rewards, but a really great campaign isn't just gonna be selling one thing, right? That's almost like you're going into CVS or some Walgreens or Walmart or something like that, and you go there and you just buy one product. They wouldn't have a business if you're just buying one product, right? Usually you're going there and you're checking out with a whole carton full, whole bucket full, whole basket full of products, which you're then checking out, right? And that's your overall order total. Same thing goes with Kickstarter and with crowdfunding. The more that you can package things, bundle things together, the higher your order value is when someone actually checks out, meaning the more funding that you're getting at the end of the day, you're increasing the overall pledge amount or average pledge when it comes to your Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign. So I think it's almost like a no-brainer. You should definitely make use of this, but really think about and structure those rewards. What is it gonna be like when it comes to fulfillment, when it comes to logistics as well of these rewards? What are the ones gonna be easy to fill, maybe a little more difficult? How are you gonna actually structure those tiers and encourage people to maybe even back at larger and larger numbers, right? These are all things that you can actually answer when you begin to think about your rewards. My next tip number 2 in this video, and if you do like my content as well, give me a thumbs up because it's so hard to stand out in the YouTube algorithm. If you do like this content, it's a great way to kind of just say a thank you. So my tip number 2 for you in this video is to really think about how strategically you are going to build your crowd leading up to the launch of your crowdfunding campaign. I know a lot of people out there like, Sal, I thought that I was going on this platform to actually get a crowd. And to a degree, that's true. You can, when you have a successful campaign, attract lots of people that you've never met before to back your music crowdfunding campaign. And we talk about that. I have a free course course as well, which I'm actually putting out, which you can link up and you can see down below. Free course sharing with you step by step how to do a music crowdfunding campaign and how to market it, specifically how to get people backing it, etc. But one of the things I addressed there is like, yeah, unfortunately, you do need a little bit of a crowd before you go into this campaign. And here's why. When you got a crowd, nothing sells a crowd, nothing sells a product, nothing sells a band, a musician like a crowd. A crowd attracts a crowd. So you need to have a little bit of crowd in order to not only get other people that don't even know you, strangers, interested in your project, checking it out, watching your video, actually deciding whether or not to back it, but also so you can shoot up in the actual rankings of the platform which you choose to go with. So this video is obviously about Kickstarter. You can also do Indiegogo if you want to, but you're gonna rank way better on the platform if you're already getting some funding in the gate. So it really makes sense to me to build your crowd or build your tribe ahead of time. And there are a lot of ways in which you can do this. This could be your fans, this could be your friends and family, this could be people that just really care about what you're doing and want to support it in a small way. It could even be as simple as wanting to share your message to their friends, to their friends of friends, being able to share and spread the word about your campaign. So there are so many ways in which you can do this, but nevertheless, you should 100% build a crowd before going with a crowdfunding campaign platform and really going through that entire process. So not only is it good when it comes to the algorithm, not only is it good when it comes to other people seeing that and creating more credibility and people showing up, but in addition, I think there's also a tremendous sense of momentum that comes with a project when you are seeing people take action. So it gets you excited as well. And so many of these people that you even think would support you end up do, and also in large amounts. I've had campaigns where someone didn't even know where like $1,000 contribution came from, and it was like from a friend of a friend of a friend, and they just liked and resonated with what they're doing. So you never know who you can reach when you have a public crowdfunding campaign, as well as when it comes to strangers, the number of people that you can get excited about what you're doing because they see this thing trending on the actual Kickstarter platform. So make sure that you build a crowd. I call this a crowdfunding street team. And if you want more of the nuts and bolts and tactics of how to do that, go and check out the free course that I got down below, specifically for musicians and for bands that want to raise around $10,000 to $65,000. If you're in that sweet spot, I think you would like the free course down below. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description. Number 3 is to learn the science behind this. So when I got started, there really wasn't any kind of education. I was one of the first people actually to start putting out content when it comes to crowdfunding with my blog, crowdcrux.com, and there really wasn't any kind of scientific process. And so many people have tried to really nail this down. So I've tried to do that in my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula. Many people have said very nice things about this. It doesn't necessarily have to be my book, but you do want to learn about the process. There are many different ways in which you can do this. I think that a good multifaceted approach, first of all, is to look at other music crowdfunding campaigns and study them. What kinds of rewards do they offer? What kind of page do they have? What kind of video do they have? How are they doing their marketing, right? And based on that, you can also say like, are these people also beginning musicians? Are they already been a band that's been around for years and years? Or are they newbies? Are they really just haven't been around for a long time? So really want to benchmark as well someone when it comes to a little bit around your career trajectory. You can also think about and look at the podcast, for example, looking and listening to stories of people who are real world individuals that are telling you exactly what works when it comes to crowdfunding. Other things that I think are really important along with studying this process is understanding sort of the duration which you're going to be running a campaign for. So if you're going to be doing, for example, a 30-day campaign versus a 60-day campaign, it's going to be a very different type of campaign which you're managing because you got to maintain that momentum over the course of 60 days. Also learning about what are you doing beforehand? What are you doing before you actually go live? What are some of the assets that go into this project? So you obviously might have a pitch video on the Kickstarter campaign. What about some of the FAQs which you're going to be getting? What are some of the updates that you might be posting? How are you going to be engaging when it comes to comments? Are you going to be using social media at all? Are you going to be using paid advertising at all? Are you going to be trying to engage media outlets and PR and how to drum up a media firestorm? These are all great questions to start asking when you're really trying to understand the science behind crowdfunding. So the more that you can kind of identify some of these questions, it can really be great for you because that way you can start to also then hunt down some of the answers to these questions as well. The other thing I would say when it comes to research is as well, thinking about your particular category, so your style of music, thinking about where those communities congregate. How do people already sell music in this way? How do other musicians get noticed? How do they get found? What social media platforms are they using? Do what I call an audit. An audit is when you kind of just from a very like almost third person view, it's like you're a scientist in a lab and you're writing this down on a clipboard or something like that. Really just study a couple of musicians and be like, okay, where are they present online? What kinds of marketing are they doing? How frequently are they posting? Where are people finding out about their music? How are they doing this? And just start to audit a few of these different people, and it will give you tremendous levels of insight when it comes to marketing techniques that you can do and you can apply as well to begin to grow your crowd leading into a campaign as well as when you're live. One quick tip I would say along this message is as well thinking about a live event. Have you ever considered maybe doing a launch event or something like that to stand out? Dude, there are so many ways in which you can stand out when it comes to raising money for a music crowdfunding campaign. All you gotta do is think about the ones that you can really execute in, you can sink your teeth into, and you are off to the races. My next tip is you gotta give them a taste. Give them a taste of what it is that you're gonna be producing. So there are different ways in which you can do this, but kind of an analogy, if you wanna go like, for example, like a food court, you go to a bakery, right? And you see a ton of different stuff which you can get, but you don't really know what you want. And you have some samples, you may have like a sample cannoli or something like that. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. You go to an ice cream store and you have so many different flavors. You try one flavor, and like, this is incredible, this is amazing, I wanna get this flavor, and then you purchase it, right? The more you can give people a taste of the experience before they actually have it, not only does it whet their appetite, but they're much more confident in actually making that contribution or that purchase decision. So for you, that could be, for example, a sample of your music. What is the actual show going to be like you're going to be putting on? The more you can give people a taste, doing live streams even, right? These are easy ways you can get people thinking about you, thinking about your brand, thinking about your band specifically, your work as a musician, and really being in that mindset when they actually show up with the campaign. So for example, there's so many things that are going on in our mind every single day. If you want to think of it like a pie chart, right? You have a lot of different things that are going through our mind. The bigger mind share which you can occupy in that person's mind as a musician, so they're literally thinking about the types of music they're doing, they're listening to it, they're aware of it. That's a really great time to really be leading into a campaign because you're top of mind, it's called in marketing. And that's a great indication that when they actually show up, or they are going to show up first of all, but when they also show up, they're going to be more likely to take action. The next tip that I have for you, and I would say that this is actually probably one of the more important ones and one of the more difficult ones, particularly if you are a musician or you're someone who's doing a band or trying to produce something new when it comes to music. This is really hard. And the reason is that a lot of times it requires a multidisciplinary approach. And what I'm referring to here is creating an epic, an incredible, a stunning crowdfunding campaign page. And because that's really what people are seeing before they back it, right? That's what's influencing them. Not only are they watching your video, if you have a video on that page, but they're also looking through your different rewards that you're offering. They're getting a sense of what you're trying to do, where this budget is going, why it is you're passionate, right? They're really getting a sense of your entire brand, your entire ethos, and really what you're trying to do at the end of the day by looking at that crowdfunding campaign page. So in many ways, it is a tool in your arsenal to influence other people in order to join you in this quest to really make something out of your music, to really make meaning, and to turn this maybe into something that you're doing in a much larger way than you are right now. So that page is literally the number one thing that they're gonna be looking at, reading, examining, and going through before they decide to back your campaign. Why not put tons of your attention and focus on making that page as spectacular, as great, as powerful, and as appealing as possible? I talk about some of these tips and more in my free course down below when it comes to helping you launch a music crowdfunding campaign, some of the techniques that work in order to get funds, as well as other things, specifically for people that are trying to raise that like 10K to 65K number, that sweet spot. This is a great course to check out down below. In addition, I do one-on-one coaching with students. You can check out my one-on-one coaching link down below. I have lots of students always coming in with many different types of projects, and I love to do these intensive coaching sessions because we can really kind of make it so that we're going in the right direction, armed with the right tools, we have the right map, and we're actually going after there, and we're using the good techniques that are actually gonna work in your campaign category. So if you ever have any doubts, if you're like, I really want an expert opinion, I wanna make sure that what I'm doing is not wasting my time, it's a great time to invest in a one-on-one coaching call. Awesome, man. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, come subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you are a musician and you actually are starting a new campaign and you are successful and you're working hard when it comes to this project, it just means the world to me, because I do think that the world needs a lot better music, it needs a lot more musicians, and being able to pursue your passion in this new way using crowdfunding can really just unlock the power of the crowd. And if I can play a small role in that, it makes me super happy. I'm not a musician myself, I am a marketer. Like I said, the other people that I've collaborated with when it comes to the guy that I've worked on, those are musicians, and there's so much experience across cross-discipline when it comes to marketing, when it comes to different categories. So hope that you enjoy all the resources I shared with you today, as well as the ones down below. But give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. My name is Salvador Briggman, and I will see you next time.